and girls, Pastor Sam, Miss Morgan, and Loki here. We miss you guys and we love you so much. And don't forget, it's Mother's Day, so tell your mamas and your grandmas Happy Mother's Day and you love them.
As a matter of fact, if you haven't done that, I want you to pause the video and go do that now. Go hug your mom or your grandma, tell them that you love them and you want to wish them a Happy Mother's Day. But today we're going to continue in our curriculum called I Know It Sounds Crazy. We're going to learn some more crazy things in the Bible. Today we're going to be talking about two brothers named Jacob and Esau. And Jacob and Esau got into a big fight over something, and we're also going to talk about how we can handle conflict and how we can handle fighting with our siblings and with other people a little bit better. So we want to make sure though that we wish our moms and grandmas Happy Mother's Day.
Hey boys and girls, I'm here to tell you our What You Gotta Know. This is our main idea for today, so if your parents or anyone asks you what you learned in Kidz Church today, you can tell them. So our What You Gotta Know is, I know we can get along. Okay, it's really important for us to get along with our parents and our friends and our siblings because that shows everyone that we have Jesus in our hearts, and it makes Jesus really happy whenever we're nice to people. So let's say it one more time together. I know we can get along. Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to pass it back to Pastor Sam for the Bible story.
Okay, everybody, now it's time for us to get into our Bible story for today. And today's Bible story comes from the book of Genesis, chapters 32 and 33. So like I said before earlier in the lesson, today we're talking about two brothers named Jacob and Esau. Okay, now Esau was born first, but Jacob and Esau were twins. But since Esau was born first, according to tradition of the time back then, Esau would receive their father's blessing, and then when their father passed away, Esau would receive all of their father's land and possessions. Esau's brother Jacob did a very wicked and mean thing to him though, and we're going to learn about that. Jacob tricked their father into blessing him instead of Esau. So that meant that Jacob would get all of the things that Esau was supposed to get when their father passed away. That's called Esau's birthright. Okay, that meant that Jacob stole Esau's birthright from him, and Esau got more than a little upset at this. He threatened to kill Jacob. Esau was so angry. So Jacob took all of his things and he ran for his life. Years and years passed by in the story, and the brothers never talked to each other or never saw each other. So how would you feel if that was your brother? If your brother had done something so mean to you and then just left and you hadn't talked to him for years? If you were Esau. But if you were Jacob, can you imagine doing something that you know you shouldn't have done, but then your brother threatens to kill you, so you're forced to run away? I don't think in either situation that would be what we want to do. But after many years of running from his brother, Jacob really wanted to apologize to Esau. Jacob heard that Esau and his family actually lived close by to him. So Jacob sent messengers to Esau and told him that he wanted to make up for what he did. Jacob offered gifts, he offered animals, and he offered other things in order to let Esau know that he was serious about this apology. When Esau saw all of these gifts, he was super surprised. Jacob was excited when his servants returned to his camp, and his servants came back with startling news. Jacob was probably expecting Esau to come back and to kill him or to do something bad to him. But the servants told Jacob Esau's on his way here with an army of 400 men. When Jacob heard this news, he was terrified because he thought that Esau was coming with all these men so that way he could get his revenge on Jacob for stealing his birthright. When Jacob heard this news, he was so scared. But was Esau coming to kill him? Was he coming to make Jacob pay for what he did all those years ago? There was one good thing that Jacob could do, and that was pray. And that's what he did. He got on his knees and he prayed to God. Please rescue me from Esau, for he is surely coming to kill me, is what Jacob prayed to God. Jacob knew that he needed God to help end this family fight. And the very next day, Esau arrived to Jacob's camp. Jacob ran out to meet Esau, and instead of tearing into him and beginning to fight, he said, Jacob kept a humble attitude, and he went to greet his brother Esau by bowing down before him like a servant. Esau grabbed Jacob, pulled him close, and hugged him. Esau forgave his brother Jacob for all the terrible things he had done. And so today we're going to talk about ways that we can forgive others who have hurt us. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Morgan for the power verse now, and I'll see you later.
Hey boys and girls, wasn't that a great Bible story? Now we're going to talk about our power verse. It comes from the book of Romans, and it is, do all that you can to live in peace with everyone. Romans 12:18. Okay, boys and girls, let's all say it together so we can practice it. 1, 2, 3. Do all that you can to live in peace with everyone. Romans 12:18. Awesome job, boys and girls. Okay, now I'm going to pass it back to Pastor Sam for the rest of the lesson.
So as we continue our lesson today, we're going to be learning about what happens when families fight. When we've hurt a member of our family or one of our friends, it's really important that we apologize. But it's also equally as important that we be willing to forgive our families, our brothers or our sisters or our friends when they're the ones who have hurt us. Being hurt is a part of life. It can happen at school, it can happen at church, and it can happen at home. But we need to make sure that we're doing the things that God wants us to do in these situations. So have you ever got in a fight with somebody or an argument with somebody? Fights and arguments are unavoidable in life, even among our family members or even our friends. Things happen and we get into arguments over disagreements and stuff like that. But what should we do when things like this happen? Should we let the fight go on until it gets worse and worse? Should we apologize? When should we forgive somebody? And that's what we're going to look at today. The story of two brothers in the Bible who got into a fight, and we're going to look at the ways that they handled the situation. Okay? So do you remember what happened today when Jacob learned that Esau was close by? Jacob sent some of his men to go visit Esau and to bring some gifts. And Jacob didn't wait for Esau to come to him. He was the one who had done the wrong thing, so he's the one that made the first move. In today's lesson, we learn that when we're in a conflict, we need to make the first move, okay? If we're in a conflict with somebody that's in our family, especially somebody who we have hurt their feelings or somebody who we've done wrong, it's our responsibility to make the first move as Christians, okay? If Jesus made the first move for us, we should make the first move for other people. And if we wait on the other person to come to us, then the conflict may never be over, okay? So when your sister makes you mad, or whenever your brother takes one of your toys, we should make sure that we are the person to forgive. And when your friend's upset about maybe you said a joke that they didn't like and they're saying that you made fun of them, it's your job to make the first move and to apologize. Always remember that we need to make the first move. But there's another thing in our Bible story here that Jacob did that sets a great example for what we can do in conflict, and that's ask God for help. It's not always easy for us to make the first move. Sometimes we need to pray to God and ask for help, and that's exactly what Jacob did. When Jacob heard that his brother was definitely coming to meet him with an army of 400 men, he got down on his knees and he prayed to God. Remember what he said. He said, God, I'm frightened. I'm scared to death that Esau is going to come kill me and my family. God, please help me. Jacob knew that he had done wrong, but he asked for God's guidance in this situation, and that's super important for us to do. When we've hurt someone, the first move that we should make is we should pray to God for his guidance over the situation, and then we should apologize to that person. It can be pretty scary, these situations can sometimes, so it's important that we ask God to help us have courage, strength, and forgiveness that we need to make things right. And then the next part that we learn about is also something that Jacob did when he saw Esau, and that is to keep a humble attitude. So Esau arrived at Jacob's camp with an army of 400 men, and Jacob ran out to meet Esau. He kept a humble attitude, and he greeted his brother Esau by bowing down before him like a servant. Jacob didn't tell Esau off. He didn't say, "Why are you here bringing all these people into my house?" He didn't start listing all the wrong things that Esau had done wrong by not forgiving him. But Jacob bowed before Esau in humility. And that's something that's really important because Jesus was a servant to people when he was here. And if we're saying that we're Christians, we need to make sure that we're also being a servant to people and we're keeping a humble attitude. Like Jacob did here. Go to people with a humble attitude and simply say, "I'm sorry." It's important that we apologize when we do something wrong. Esau ran to Jacob and gave him a hug. He forgave his brother and they both celebrated at the family being brought back together. When two people who have been torn apart come back together, we call that restoration. So if we follow the first 3 steps in conflict, if we make sure if we do something wrong that we make the first move. If we do something wrong to our parents or one of our friends or our brothers, we need to make sure that we apologize. The second step is that we ask God for God's help because we know that we can make mistakes in these situations. So we want to make sure that we have God's guidance through all of this. And then the last thing we want to make sure we do, whether we're on either side of the situation, is to keep a humble attitude. And if we're able to do these things, we can celebrate restoration. And what that means is whenever we resolve a conflict, whenever we move past a problem we had with somebody, it always feels good, right? Whenever somebody hurts you and they come to you and they tell you that they're sorry, and then you can go on with a good relationship with your brother or sister or with your friend, it makes you feel really good. So we need to celebrate those things because that restoration just makes us stronger together and it makes us stronger with God, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pray together and we're going to pray that we can all remember to keep these things in our mind during conflict. So that way that we can solve issues the way that God wants us to, okay? So let's pray. God, we thank you for the lesson today, God. We thank you for an opportunity to come together, God, in spirit, even though we can't be in the same room together today. But I thank you for our Bible story today, God. I pray that you can help every boy and girl, parent and grandparent listening to the story, God, just to remember this and to apply it to our lives, God, because we're never going to be able to get away from arguments in our life. We're always going to have disagreements in our life, but if we can handle them the way that you want us to, God, then everything's going to be okay and everything's going to be all right. God, I pray that whenever we make a mistake and we wrong somebody, that we can remember that it's important to apologize to someone, God, and that we can make sure that when we do wrong, we make the first move, God, because you did that for us by sending your son down to die for our sins, God. And I pray that we can remember to keep a humble attitude through it all, God, no matter what side of the situation that we are, and that we can remember to celebrate whenever we have conflicts resolved, God. And we thank you for that. In your name we ask, amen.
All right, boys and girls, now it's time for our rewind. We've got some questions about the lesson today that we're going to ask you, and we're going to give you 2 options for the answer. If you think it's the first option, I want you to hold up a number 1, and if you think it's the second option, I want you to hold up a number 2. So let's get to it. Question 1. What you got to know today? I know we can get along, or I won't fight. The answer is I know we can get along. Question 2. What were the names of the brothers in our Bible story? Was it Josiah and Elijah or Jacob and Esau? It was Jacob and Esau. Question 3. Who did Jacob trick in order to get Esau's birthright? Was it their father or their mother? It was their father. Question 4. How did Esau react when he found out Jacob had cheated him? Did he get angry or did he cry? He got angry. Question 5. Was Esau willing to forgive Jacob? Yes or no? Yes, Esau forgave Jacob. Question 6. According to our lesson today, in order to handle a conflict, make the first move or make the smart move? The answer is to make the first move. Question 7. According to our lesson today, in order to handle a conflict, ask God for help or ask God for peace? We should ask God for help. Question 8. According to our lesson today, in order to handle a conflict, we should keep a good attitude or keep a humble attitude? The answer is to keep a humble attitude. Question 9. According to our lesson today, At the end of conflict, we should celebrate recollection or restoration. We should celebrate restoration. Question number 10. Where was our power verse found for today? Is it Romans 2:8 or John 12:10? The answer is Romans 12:8. Great job, boys and girls.
Okay, boys and girls, we had a great time with you in the lesson today. We hope that you were able to learn something, but we love you guys. We miss you so much. We're super excited to get back to church, hopefully at the end of this month. Make sure that you wish your moms and grandmas a happy Mother's Day from you as well as from us, but we'll see you here next week.